Okay, we are live. You can go ahead and unmute there.
Hmm.
Okay, well, I think we're pretty much good to go. So in the future, this will go easier because we already have this part set up. So it should be easy to progress from that screen to this. Uh, yeah.
Sweet.
Okay. Yeah.
I looked over the notes and I don't think I can add anything. I think you had everything pretty much covered.
Yep. Just bring your ability to talk passionately about Marvel.
Oh, I can do that.
Good.
I mean, come on, I got Thor back there.
Sure
Wait
do.
until I get the Funko Pops up. Oh,
AP Dubs, take off your shirts, he says. Oh, that's classic. It's not that kind of show. Okay. I am going to, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do just do a 3, 2, 1 count. This works like techies. You were on there. 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then I'm going to start the music back up again anyway, but, and then I'll hit record. And then everything will be fine. It's going to be kind of loud. What?
and everything's gonna be fine.
What's that from?
I don't
Everything will be
know.
fine. I don't even know. It's
That
just
was
a classic.
hilarious.
Um, music might be a little loud, but I don't know. Like you said, you're maybe hearing it a little bit. I don't know why, but anyway, hopefully it's not too loud for you. If you do hear it,
Well,
oh hey
I
Herschel,
just
what's
turned
up?
on my headset as well. Haha.
All right, we're gonna start it up. Actually, I might since it's not coming through to you. That is kind of an issue though. If the music's not coming through, then you don't
Wait,
really know when
you're
it's
saying I
happening.
should not hear it? I should hear it?
Well,
Because
if
I'm
it's
not
anything like
confused.
my other stream setup, you shouldn't hear it, but I can actually change it so you do hear it. But
Because you probably would want me to hear. Well, I guess you're going
unless
first, anyways.
if
You're
there's
the
an
one that's
echo,
tough.
then that's where it becomes a problem. But well, here we could just test it quick. Uh,
Test it.
um, I don't have to adjust this every time though.
Say what? Else went over.
Actually, no. Oh yeah, you should hear it. Never mind, because it's on the mixer. Duh. Oh. Okay, so it may be loud for you. Fair warning. All right.
Crap.
I mean, I can try to take it down a little notch. Let's take it down a little bit. But this is going to be a learning experience. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Disnerds Plus, the show where we talk about your favorite nerdy shows on Disney Plus. This is episode 1. Moon Knight, episode 1. The Goldfish Problem is what we're talking about today. This is Wednesday, March 30th, 2022. I'm Shane, and that guy over there is Mike.
Hello.
What's up, Mike? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Just living the dream. Got to watch the first episode of Moon Knight. I'm pretty happy.
Hell yeah. It's a pretty good time. We
Mhm.
watched it together, in fact.
We did.
Go figure.
It was a awesome bonding moment.
Sure
Watching
was.
Moon Knight together.
Look at all the people in the chat giving us shout outs. AP Dubs, why not? Herschel, everybody in there, how you guys doing? Talk about Iron Man 2 now? No, what?
No,
Why would
we're
we
not
do
talking
a
about
thing
Iron
like
Man
that?
2. No,
We're not here.
that's
We're here to
old
talk about
news.
spoilers, which I've clearly labeled on the stream. Spoilers for episode 1 of Moon Knight, which I guess I already mentioned. But I think we're just going to dive right in here, essentially. So there's I'm not gonna lie. This is a property I really had next to nothing about prior to watching this episode. What about you?
I mean, I've maybe heard of it once, and I was like, whatever. It's just one of those background characters I really didn't pay much attention to. Now I'm just like, okay, and who's Moon Knight? What's up with this guy? What's going on?
Who is this guy? Yeah, exactly.
He's pretty neat, though.
I do recognize the art, at least, of the character itself, but that's as far as it goes for me. So this is Stephen Grant, I guess is his name, and that's at least who we're introduced to initially. And I did think it was a little. This didn't come to me until like last night. The sort of connection to Oscar Isaac, since this is Oscar Isaac in this movie playing Apocalypse, which was
Hmm.
an Egyptian god of sorts, right? And I get, at least in the movie, is is that not true to the comics?
What do you think? What do you think they do in the multiverse in this point? What if they put Apocalypse in, and
Oh
Moon Knight
boy.
has to fight Apocalypse,
Oh boy.
and
Now
it's the
we're
same person?
now we're getting into weird territory here. Uh
Saying Multiverse of Madness is about a month away. We're gonna get in some really, really weird stuff soon.
that is geez. That could go places for sure. But
I can't wait. I
we sh-
can't wait.
we shall see what happens there. Oops. I screwed
We
something
sh-
up here right away.
that,
Um
that that's where that's like an hour and a half episode, right? We'll just do
yeah.
a
We'll see.
Doctor Strange movie
Well, you'll hear
review.
in a moment why that's more or less relevant to this show, but we're introduced. The opening scene is very odd. We see a guy, and I still don't. Do we know for sure it's him in that scene? That
Yeah, I don't know.
we see him. He's got a glass of water. Well, presumably water. That he makes the sound. He puts his finger around on the top of it, and he makes the what do you call that sound? Crystal sound or whatever.
Oh, like the humming, the howl, the
Yeah,
hum. Yeah, the hum. I guess.
a
Where
little
you?
bit of
Yeah,
the
I know
hum.
what
Yep.
you mean.
Um, and then we see him turn it. I guess he drinks it, turns it upside down on top of this towel, wraps it up, proceeds to smash it with what looks to be Egyptian tools of some kind.
I think it
Possible.
was his cane. I think it was his cane he used.
Okay.
Put it in like some maybe the towel or the cloth was from like Egyptian time, but maybe not. I don't think the cane was.
Water
The
because of
cane had
Egypt. I get it. Cause dessert. Or I mean desert. Why not? Says. Um, he proceeds to put this broken glass in his like sandal like shoes
yeah,
and
those are. Yeah,
walks, as we could pretty much see coming, decides he's just
puts
gonna
his
walk with
feet
him.
in the sandal and decides to just walk with some glass in his shoes. I don't
Like you
understand that one
do.
yet. Yeah, I totally always put glass in my shoes in the morning.
I mean, you ain't cool
Like
if you're not putting.
coffee.
Yeah, exactly. It was an interesting moment. But that's what you're open up to. So then the next thing we see is we see Oscar Isaac coming out of bed, waking up out of bed, and there's several things going on there that are pretty unique. One of which is if this was him in the previous scene, first thing I immediately noticed was his feet. His feet looked fine, no broken. That was the first thing I noticed.
Just
Next
looking
thing
at
is
his
that
feet.
he's got this ankle restraint on, tied to the bedpost or wherever it is next to it. Um, there is sand around his bed, which at first I'm like, okay, that made me think desert, like something related there. And there's tape on the door, and all of which is apparently to. Well, maybe we find. I don't know if we find that out initially. Initially, we don't really know
I
for
think
sure.
it's the because he can't realize what's he's dreaming or if he's not dreaming. That's why he was trying to stay up. He was playing around with everything, trying to keep himself up. So I think it's more he doesn't know what reality he's in a way.
Yeah,
That's how I perceived it when I was figuring out all. I'm like, okay, he's got the tape on the door, so he's making sure the tape's not broken when he wakes up.
right.
Sand, that one was a little weird, but I guess I'll just see footprints. That's probably what it was for.
Yeah, I think that
See if he got up.
that seems to be the case, which we'll find out a little more later.
Yeah.
So, and then we're introduced to his fish, his one-finned fish. Was it Gus, I believe?
Yes, it was Gus. Gus the fish.
So then the next scene, we are taken to a museum where he proceeds to talk to this girl that's there just on a class trip or something. And, he's laughing, he's having a good time, whatever with her.
Oh,
And then along comes what you described as the Karen of the museum, I
oh
guess.
yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah, she is the Karen of the museum. I got chills when she started talking.
She's the one that called him Stevie, was it?
Yep, she called him Stevie.
And then I don't remember if
And
he corrected her to Steven or but not as
I think
bad as
I think
the
he
other guy at the museum that
the security officer, whatever the guard,
right.
like Stew or something
I don't
I can't
remember the
remember the
security
last.
guard's name, but yeah, he
No,
calls him
it's
Scotty, but
Scotty. Yeah,
which
yeah.
is funny because there's a podcaster Scott Johnson who people call him Steve a lot, which I thought was kind of funny. I wonder if I'll hear about that. But so he's selling like candy at the gift shop, or I don't know if it's all he's selling stuff at the gift shop.
He's selling Egyptian stuff at the gift shop.
Yeah, Egyptian themed. But I think that was the thing we saw initially was some kind of candy or something that was Egyptian themed that he's selling there.
Uh,
He points
yeah,
out he points out a correction to this Karen lady. I don't did we get Karen's name?
it was Shannon. I want to say, but I
Okay.
could be wrong. I just I designated her as Karen right
Yeah,
away. So
fair enough. He points out in I think it's like a painting, like a poster of some kind. I don't know if they're selling it or what it is. I guess they must be selling it if it's in the gift shop, but that they have the wrong number of is it pharaohs in the Ennead? I forgot how you say it exactly.
oh, it was in the poster. There was seven, or I think there was supposed to be
9,
nine.
yep.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it was all different Egyptian pharaohs, but so oh yeah, and the other part in there is that there's a date he apparently had set up with one of his workers, one of the other workers in the museum there, which we're not really sure what she does there. I don't think unless she's a tour guide or something, but I didn't quite catch that.
No, she was a tour guide. She was a museum guide, like taking
Yeah,
around, talking around.
right. And he didn't remember setting up this date at a steakhouse. So yeah, something going on with his memory there a little bit.
Or one of his other personas, maybe coming out, because it seems like
Yes.
there's definitely that personas are a big thing in here. You learn
Yeah,
that really right away.
there's a lot to unpack here. The next scene, we see him talking to a guy at I think a fountain, one of those statue people. He's like all gold, painted up guy that's totally still
I
talking to,
felt bad for that
giving him his problems. Yeah, you could tell right away. Mike felt really bad for that guy.
guy. Ah, man. Hey, he did really well though. He sat through that whole spiel,
Yeah.
and I mean, he got a sandwich out of it and some money still from Steven, so I guess that worked. But my God, just lay all your problems on this poor dude just trying to make some money and get some free sandwiches.
Yep,
It's not
yep.
right. Not right.
It makes me wonder if that were reality, how that would go down. Herschel says, "One fin fish. Was it done in CG or should we call PETA?" I don't know about that one. I think it might have been a CG fish. There were times where I wondered. Um, so shortly after, I think he takes a picture of some people that want to be taken with the statue man, and then
Oh
immediately,
yeah.
or pretty much right after that, he suddenly wakes up in the, I don't know, Alps or something, mountains
I want
somewhere.
to. I want to say it was like yeah, Alps, Germany,
That's what it looked like.
something that way. Like it felt very, very
Europe, European,
European-ish.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, I would
And then
agree.
it got really weird in that when he woke
That
up.
things really took a turn there.
I thought
We
his jaw was
hear,
broke when he woke up. I was like, whoa. So was jaw.
yeah, that's
That
right.
CG was really weird. It looked. I mean, you could tell it was CG, but it is just. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a
his
little.
jaw was
It
super
freaked me out a little
busted
bit.
up. And I've heard this is maybe a little more I I don't know if I want to say gory than maybe previous Marvel properties, but he was very bloodied in that scene. It seemed like his jaw was all
Mm.
dislocated and had to snap it back. And then right away we hear
Yeah.
this like narrator voice of some kind. Very ominous sounding voice that's like talking to him, telling him to do stuff, and he's kind of treating him like he's an idiot.
The stupid ones here.
Yeah.
uh,
And what's weird is, so I believe I had this line right where he says surrender the body, I think is what the narrator guy
I think
says.
he was. Yeah, that surrender the body, and then all of a sudden, like that weird, like tall dude behind with like rags on, just shows up.
Yes.
It was really creepy.
Very
And then he
creepy.
just turned around. Didn't he just turn around and did he wake up again? No, he didn't wake up yet.
No, there's a whole lot more after that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he turns around, and as Why Not's pointing out, he turns turns around, and there's a couple of people that try to shoot at him right away
Oh
from
yeah,
a
that's right.
from
He
a
saw. Oh yeah, the castle is right behind him.
I don't know if it's like a
That's right. I
patio
forgot.
or like a balcony or a chateau or something. Um, and then oh yeah, then he goes in his disguise. He's just putting his hood up, right? Which now
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about it at the
I
time,
was
but was that
I was
foreshadowing
not convinced.
for his Moon Knight
He
hood?
kinda, yeah, because he had the white hood and it was kinda down right in the front. I was like, okay, that's neat.
Yeah.
But I was not convinced when he put his hood up. I'm like, there's like guards all around him. How did none of them see him put a hood up? Like, you gotta be kidding me. I would have seen that from a mile away. Of
Right.
course, I'm a people watcher, so I guess I have that weird gift.
And also, it's a television program to suspend your disbelief a little bit, especially with Marvel things. But right after that, we actually see Ethan Hawke show up, and I always want to call him Ethan Hunt. I always confuse it with the Mission Impossible character, but
Hmm.
um, I don't know how to remember that exactly. But excuse me. The so there's he seems to be the leader of some kind of weird cult, from what I could tell initially. That's sort of how it's presented, and we see
Yeah,
one gentleman come up to him and ask for like basically
kind
almost
of
like
like
a
judgment.
fortune. Oh, judgment. Yeah,
That
okay,
was
judgment,
judgment. I would say judgment
judgment for sure. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
and kind of a cool thing. He like puts out his hands, and we see this scale tattoo on Ethan Hawke's. Which, by the way, Ethan's got longer hair than I think I've seen him with. I don't know
Well,
whether or not it's
he's also got that cane in the middle where he just has the person holding it. It's going back and forth like a pendulum.
right.
That was while the tattoo is also doing the same thing, and so it's like quite interesting.
I don't know if that's a wig that he's wearing or not, or if he actually has his hair grown out like that. But
I think his hair has grown out like that because I've seen him in recent interviews. His hair is long.
gotcha. So Yeah. I guess we didn't actually mention the gold scarab yet, did we? That's what he has in his pocket. That's supposedly the body that the. No, is that? I don't know what he was saying about. Oh, when he said surrender the body, he's talking about like his body. He's talking
Yeah.
about yeah, okay, but he
Well,
has
the other persona is yelling at him, I
yeah
guess. I
yeah
don't know. But
right, which
I
it did.
mean,
There's been moments in this episode that made me feel like it was a Venom sort of feeling to it, you know. Um.
yeah, like yeah, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. But I wonder if that was like. I mean, we're gonna obviously still have to find out, but I'm wondering who that other voice is in there talking.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
weirdly scary sounding one. Because the other ones are like, oh, okay, that sounds normal. But then you got this weird, whatever guy.
right. Yep. And yeah, so back to you mentioned the cane. He puts it between Ethan puts it between his arms, right, and lets it sort of swing, and
I think,
then
I
or
think
is it the other
so.
way?
I don't know. Like, it's hard. It was hard to tell. I don't know if it was Ethan holding it
Maybe
or
it
the
was
person
theirs,
that was.
but so maybe it goes on there. I guess that would make more sense. And then his scale tattoo, sort of, you see it move a little bit, shift, one
Mhm.
side to the other, and the first guy gets is good. His judgment is he's in the clear. He wins or whatever. And then we see a lady come up, and of course we have to show the opposite. So she just dies,
Yeah,
presumably.
she like her soul gets sucked away by one he touches her. It was
Right.
interesting.
It
So
was
that was a Met, right?
a
Wasn't it?
mit.
Like a Met. Yeah.
I guess it's AMMIT. Thanks subtitles. Appreciate that.
Right. It's
um,
always nice to have those on when you're watching it.
yeah,
I miss something.
I didn't catch it until later. I finally was able to catch it, but so clearly the whoever the narrator or voice in his head is not does not want him to return this scarab because he's trying to once not to jump ahead too much, but once he pops out of the crowd, or I should say he doesn't pop out of the crowd. Ethan Hawke's character, which does he have a name so far in this?
Yeah, I don't know his name yet. I don't think I heard his name.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think so.
So far that is kind of
He's a
in the dark
cult
a little
leader.
bit.
I can know that. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah. So far that does appear to be the case. So
mhm.
he says some command that everybody there in this village seems to know, and everybody else drops down, and then Oscar Isaac
Steven
or
tries to
yeah
Stephen
he
Grant tries to get down quick, but it's like kind of too
he's like
late.
oh oh, and then he immediately knows it's him. So then so then this voice in his head is like the Ethan Hawke's character wants to return. He wants him to return this scarab, this gold scarab, uh, which I nobody really knows why. Nobody knows too much at this point, and they so he doesn't because this thing won't let him. At first, he's just gripping his with a fist around this scarab, uh, and he keeps
Now,
talking like I don't know what's happening. Like I
now that reminded me of like Spider-Man when Doctor Strange pushes his astral projection on him. All of a sudden, his body's just still like kind of the same thing as like something's possessing
yeah. So
his
Herschel's got
body,
his
or
his real name, his character's name, but I don't know if did he say it was Arthur. I don't know. I'm not sure if that was actually revealed yet or not. But
I don't know. I can't remember if it was said. Well, you know what? Maybe it said on the subtitles.
yeah,
I didn't really. I mean, I don't know. Can't. I had to go back and look at it.
yeah. So then the first the fist it won't open, and then goes to the other hand, says take it. Then that one that one gets shot back behind him, and then the last thing is he starts moving backward, like his whole body he is out of control entirely.
And what? Then he blacked out at that point, didn't he? Or something like.
Yeah, he does black out pretty much right away. Then it starts kind of going back and forth pretty quick with him blacking out, and before he knows it, there's a bunch of, I don't know if they're dead around him, but they've been
They're like
seriously,
possessed in a way, I think.
yeah, they,
They're there's not something not right about them.
yeah, but he escapes because after he blacks out, he sees all these people on the ground, and he is able to go take a van over
And
a.
don't forget he had the scarab back. He got the scarab back,
Oh yeah,
and it
did
was
it?
full of blood.
Oh, they did. Yeah, that's right. Did they take? They did actually have it for a
They
second though.
somehow they yeah, because they like all the guys grouped around him when he went back. Then they tried to grab it. Then that's where he blacked out, and then he woke up right away, and they were all laying around in a circle. And then he had the scarab, but his hand was full of blood,
Right.
which is, I'm being honest, that's a lot of blood that's Marvel showing,
Yeah,
especially on a Disney Plus. Like,
there really is.
dang, okay.
And the other thing,
That wasn't even the end of blood. There was more blood.
right? And the other thing I heard today was that this one is, aside from being a little more gory than your traditional Marvel property at all, is that they're really trying to not. It's trying to have it be its own thing and not talk about any of the other Marvel properties. At least not yet. But you seem to think that might eventually bleed into something.
I could see like something at the end of this series, like a end credit scene of some sort.
Gotcha. So he takes this, was it ice cream van or
No, it was like a cupcake van.
cupcakes? That's what it was.
Yeah.
And he makes a comment. I don't remember if does he wake up in that? No, he actually goes to it, doesn't he? Because he makes
Yeah,
some
he runs
comment at
the
one
van.
point that he doesn't have a license, for whatever
He-
reason. He passes a lady in a chicken truck or
Coop
whatever, and
thing.
and
Oh,
she
and she flips him off.
she does, which I didn't think
Oh,
about
that
at the
was good.
time. Is that like that's also that alone? I don't know if I've seen a middle finger in a single Marvel movie or show at this point.
That's a good point. I don't know if I
Yeah,
have it either.
because
Oh,
it basically means "f you" without saying it.
right, right. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it is a slight way of doing that, and still,
Yeah,
it's still PG-13 technically,
right.
and that's still following those guidelines.
So he's on this chase. These guys are all after him, and at one point he blacks out again and winds up driving backwards. Uh,
No, I think he missed one because he didn't he like he wake up at one point, he had a gun in his hand, or did you say that? Or he had a
that
gun,
is
and then
no,
he
I don't think I mentioned that specifically, but that yeah, maybe that happens first. I knew there was maybe
that
something
happened
in the
first. Then the next second time, then he's driving backwards, and every time he wakes up, all these cars are like just flying off the side of the road. Or I like the one where he made that truck fly everywhere with all the wood on it.
oh yeah, that was crazy. But so the yeah, so he wakes up with a gun, and then there's a guy that I guess was shot in the back of the van, right? That had
Oh
gotten
yeah, he
in
fell
there.
out right at the end. he's he's kind of like what caused some of the accident after at the when the first blackout happened in
Right.
the van. And then he went second time, he was like going backwards, and then he just saw like car just fly this way, and then those logs fell off and kind of crushed the other cars that were on his way.
So the logs were before he was going backwards, or was that
That was after.
okay? Um, yeah, because he's on this. I guess we didn't necessarily say, even though we mentioned being in the Alps or wherever it may be, but yeah, there's
Who
definitely
knows?
a road that's alongside a cliff at some point during this chase, and yeah, wakes that ends up going backwards, ends up seeing these logs come out of nowhere and take these guys out. Um, which
Which was
actually,
great.
yeah, did they explain where those came from though?
Yeah, because he came out from the bottom, like when he knocked him down and knocked the truck down at the top of the hill. And when he got down to the bottom, then they got knocked down.
Okay, so that was. I'm just
So I
wondering if that was whatever the other voice is in his head, if that uh was intentional or not.
wait, the which voice? The
Whomever is
evil sounding voice?
whoever's taking over his body, if that was actually I don't know if it's
Oh,
said if that part was intentional or not.
no
But
idea.
shortly thereafter, he does wake up and thinks it was a dream, of course, and who wouldn't? But because nothing was the cord was there, there was no footprints in the sand, the tape was still there. It all looked undisturbed
Yeah.
until he goes to his like living room area and looks back at his fish, Gus, and sees he now has a fin that wasn't there before.
Two fin Gus now.
Right. And one thing I didn't mention, he did go to
Oh,
the
you went to the pet store.
pet store. He goes to the pet
Ask you
store,
like, what is it with what if a fish can grow its fin back?
right? And
Which I don't think is possible. I don't think they can grow their fins back, but
the pet store
who
even
knows?
said they only sell two fin fish or whatever, or
Yeah.
however many fins. And I'm sure it's a lot more than two actually. But the he's talking. I think the lady was suggesting that he bought the fish like recently at that point. Like that is a new fish and that he had recently purchased it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
she was like getting mad. Like, are you messing with me? Or are you like,
right,
what's happening here?
exactly. So then from there, he's in the pet. I think he's still in the pet store and looks up the clock and asks if the time's right. And she's like, "What's with you? Like, time's wrong. The fish is wrong." Realizes he's either late uh, or about to be late for his date, or so he thinks, and he finds out shortly thereafter, after he's waiting by himself on this outdoor patio with at the steak place, and he gives this proceeds to give this woman a call that he was supposed to be on a date with, and she's of course pissed, and proceeds to tell him that he thinks it's Friday and it's actually Sunday, and needless to say, he freaks out pretty good at that point and orders their best steak they have, and he orders it good.
Which is funny, is because he's vegan. So I was like,
Ah, yeah, I did. I
that's weird.
totally forgot about that. We didn't even discuss that part at this point. Yeah, which was the whole thing. Why the Karen pointed that. I think it was her pointed it out earlier in the
Yep.
episode.
Yeah, yeah. She's like, you're gonna go to a steak place when you're vegan, and
Right.
he's like, I can eat salad or bread.
Right. Exactly. Um, Herschel's seen this episode of Malcolm in the Middle. They keep replacing the fish. um, yeah, so he orders that, and then we next see him at home tossing whatever flowers he had in the bin outside.
Eating some chocolates and then giving his two fin fish Gus some sprinkles, which I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think he ate.
no, no, yeah. So he kept the chocolates and yeah. I
Which
was a
I
little bit. There's sprinkles on the
when they
chocolates, I guess.
yeah I like I or when he finds that what is he finds that scraping on his uh, floor and then he like realizes there's a compartment up on his wall or something like that. Was it on the wall or was it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was on the wall.
Well,
Finds an
yeah. So
old school.
first, before anything, we see he looks under the rug because I don't know.
He sees those scrape marks.
Yeah, is that what it was? Because I wasn't. Because
Yeah, because he's moving the desk.
initially I thought it looked like like a hole
It
had
was in
been
the
there
floor.
and like it was refilled in with concrete or something. But maybe it was just
I thought it was a floor compartment that they was looking at
yeah.
first.
That's initially what I thought as well. Maybe maybe that'll be still revealed. I'm not sure, but for whatever reason he sees one board up above is slightly off kilter. So he takes a ladder up there and um, opens it up and finds a phone and a key. And not just any phone. That's right, it's a Motorola Razr.
Yeah, that was my first phone in high school.
Yeah, I always kind of wanted one. I had one that I never ended up using I briefly
It's
had
pretty
like,
neat.
yeah, it was a cool looking phone for sure.
I
It,
felt really awesome when I had it because I had the silver one, just like in here, it was silver.
oh,
I was like, "Oh, man, this brings me back."
very nostalgic. Nice.
I liked it. It was great.
So he's looking through it, and actually, the most surprising thing is he knew how to use it pretty quickly. And he sees
Muscle
there's,
memory.
yeah, I guess there's several missed calls from a Layla. And so he calls this Layla back, and she's all, "Where have you been? I've been waiting for you forever." And what's with this
She says
accent?
months.
Months.
She
It's
says
been months.
months, yeah.
Right. So first off, it's this person he's never talked to before, and one of the things, aside from it being that long, and he's like, I don't know who, I don't know who you're talking to. Who is this? And like proceeds to talk about or ask what's with this accent because we didn't mention the whole time he has, I don't know if it's an English accent, uh, or what it is
Well,
exactly,
he
but
he he thinks it's an English accent, I guess.
right, and proceeds to, she says, I'm trying to remember if one way or another she thinks his name is Mark, and
Oh, yeah, yeah. So there is. I did read up on that. There's a Mark. There's a Steven, a Mark, and well, there's other ones. So
mm,
we haven't
okay,
met the other ones because this is coming from like what the comic says. So
right,
and you can't follow what the comic says, what the MCU says, because the MCU doesn't go by the full rules. It just takes bits and pieces from everything and
right,
melds it together. So
which I guess is better, so you're
it
surprised,
is because yeah, then you don't know actually what's gonna happen,
right.
which is good.
So she was they were both very confused with each other on the phone. It turned out, I mean, as you can imagine,
Mm.
and
Oh yeah,
I don't remember who she must have hung up on him, which seems to be a theme after his bad date as well. And and then we
poor
start
guy.
hearing a voice coming from somewhere in his apartment, and it is a first you're like I don't know if I recognize that voice, and he hears it coming from the bathroom, I guess. So he starts heading in there, looks in the mirror, and then he's like has like another false sigh of relief momentarily, like he did when he woke up. And then we see in the mirror that the mirror image is not moving at the same rate that he is. And
I thought
then,
that was pretty good. That was a little creepy factor.
mm-hmm. And then we proceed to hear the voice again. And at that point, one thing worth noting is, yeah, this voice does not have an accent, and one might presume it is Oscar Isaac's voice at that point without the
Yeah, it
accent.
definitely sounded like it. I'd
Yeah,
say
it
I'm
was
about 99.9% sure it was him. No, I'll say 99.98.
okay. Always got to account for that margin of error.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't even like initially recognize it, but yeah, certainly appeared to be the case. Then we see him, again, not unsurprisingly freaked out, runs to his apartment elevator or whatever it is that he lives, and goes down. I guess maybe to the bottom floor, like you
Yeah, it
probably
looked like he
would.
was. Yep.
And then at the bottom there, he opens the doors. Doors open and there's a well. First, before that, there was like, was there some sort of red like writing in the elevator, or was I not seeing that right?
I didn't see that. I
Okay,
wasn't. Yeah.
which actually does
I
remind
must.
me.
I see. I have to go back. That's why I say I have to go back and watch it one more time, so just in case I missed something. Which I feel like
Yeah.
I did now. There's red lettering. I gotta know this.
um. Yeah. So at the bottom, when the doors open, there's this. The subtitles say monster. I think it looks kind of like some Egyptian looking god or
God,
something. But it also looks
skeleton
like
God.
a plague doctor. like that
Oh, that's what. Yeah,
giant
I was
beak.
trying to figure out what that thing looked like. I'm like, why does it look familiar? And I can't figure it out. But it did have that big staff with it too, with the crescent moon on the top.
Oh,
So that was and I mean, Moon Knight does have a crescent moon as a logo, so gotta be something there.
and another thing, Herschel pointed out that he learned today that Layla means night. Go figure.
Ooh, makes
Nice
sense.
catch,
Look at
Herschel.
that. Very
um.
nice, very nice.
So yeah. So there's this whatever tall looking freaky monster that he he tries to close the door quickly and then stops it, and then that whatever that monster was turns into some old lady that lives in the apartment.
Oh, that was funny. She looked freaked out more than he looked freaked out, but they both were freaked out.
Right. She he keeps asking questions to her, I think, and she's super
She's just like,
uneasy.
I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here.
Yeah, but she seemed like she knew something was up, or I'm not sure. Maybe it's because she saw some other side of him at one point.
Ooh, maybe.
Um, so then I don't know how does he wind up on the bus? Does he black out?
No, he's on. Well, because after the old lady, then he turns around, to go back in the elevator, and he sees that
that's,
plague doctor thingy,
that's right. You see it
whatever.
again. Yeah.
And then he blacks out and wakes up in the bus because he was seeing. That's where he's like, ah, and then he freaks out. Everyone looks at him in the bus, and then he runs out, and then as he's running out of the bus, he can see the Ethan Hawke character on the bus. So,
Yep.
which was interesting. I'm like, oh wow, they jumped from there to there right away. Okay, this is quick.
Yeah. Was there? Oh, was it okay? Because I had the bus. The monster was. Oh yeah, was off of the bus first
hmm
before he
Yep.
he saw it go as the bus was driving. Saw it on the side of the road,
Oh
and
yeah,
then it
yeah, that's right.
disappeared behind the light pole.
Yeah, and then
Um.
that's where then he got saw Ethan Hawke, and then went into the. Did he go in the museum after that point? After he got
Yes.
the
Yep.
bus?
Yep. Pretty much right after that, he runs in the museum, and then like the Ronnie guy. Oh yeah, Ronnie is the. Oh no, Ronnie's somebody else. Never mind. First he's talking to like whoever calls him Scotty. Uh.
Oh, the security guard, the front security guard, playing with his
Yeah.
phone all the
He
time,
asks him to keep
not
an
let
eye
anyone
out.
in,
Yeah,
or
not let
not
anyone
let
in. He's
anyone in.
like,
He's like, I can't. Well, it's a museum. I gotta let people in. Like
um, yeah, and then,
Ronnie was the other security guard because when he saw Ethan Hawke
hmm
and he got freaked out, so he ran to Ronnie. And Ronnie's like showing his tattoo that the Ethan Hawke dude's got. So you're like, oh crap, he's part of the cult now. And he's like, Ronnie,
yeah, and
because
before that,
he was like, what?
The Karen lady is trying to. Before that, she's trying to get him to work,
Oh yeah,
and
he basically is like, just leave me alone,
he's
please.
like,
Just
give me a
shut
minute,
that.
give me just a minute, and that's when he goes off to Ronnie, and then or no, first he's after he says he sees someone that he recognized. I don't remember if it's Ethan Hawke or was it somebody else that was on the bus. He
Uh,
goes following after someone that he recognized from the bus, I think. And then
hmm.
so maybe it was just I don't know if it was one of his followers or what, but yeah, so Ronnie, who was a security guard, ends up shows his tattoo, so he's one of them, and then um yeah, and then we see Ethan Hawke right away, and I guess somehow he's being like he's not chasing him off for whatever reason. He gets him to do
Trying to
the
do that's or the judgment thing.
yeah.
And he says he's got chaos in him. There's never, which I thought was was interesting because chaos is a buzzword for me in the MCU. Because you know who has chaos in them?
Uh,
Come on,
maybe. Let's go with chaos. Thanos or something. No.
I'm gonna give you virtual smack. No, it's Wanda.
And
Wanda
that
has
was I was
chaos
thinking.
magic.
I mean, I was actually thinking
Remember when
him and Doctor
Agnes is
Strange,
like
her and Doctor Strange.
Agnes is like your magic is chaos, Wanda. Like
Ah,
she
interesting.
has chaos magic. That's a big thing because chaos magic is going to be big in Doctor Strange as well.
Right, right.
So just
Yeah,
keep
those are
those
the other.
buzzwords in your mind because those actually mean something.
Gotcha. Yeah, but so specifically, what he's referring to is the balance. The scales go back and forth, like they don't.
And they don't
They
judge
are
him
chaotic
because he doesn't
themselves
know.
by nature. So, uh, I really did almost say either Doctor Strange or Wanda, though. I swear. um, but whatever. I don't remember the chaos line anyway, that like you did.
I
But
mean, will watch it like 3 times to understand everything in it too.
right,
So that's the obsessive part of me on this stuff.
right. So yeah, after that happens, let's see. So he must run. Does he run after that? Run away or something? Or no, no. Ethan must just walk away or something. Or he's got to get to work. Oh, he does. He does kind of.
No,
He kind of waddles
no, the
away
door
because
opens. Someone opens a door in the
yeah.
room where they're all in, and then he runs away. And then like Ethan's or the guy is like gonna go run after him, and Ethan's like, "No, leave him alone for an hour or something like that."
Mm-hmm. So he's actually on duty at that point, I guess, and must be working.
Right. And
It seems like some time has passed. It's the end of his shift, and there's a we hear like a dog squealing or
yeah, it just sounds
whimpering.
like a lost dog or something in the museum at first. Like, what? Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. And he makes some
Of course,
comment.
like, oh, it's in the dark. This isn't gonna be good. It's not gonna be a little wimpy little dog being like, "Ooh, I can't help
Right.
me." Like, no, it was already like dark and mysterious. Going in back in the Egyptian exhibit area, yeah, there's not gonna be good things happening.
Right. And then he makes some comments about dogs not being allowed in the museum or something like that, um,
Mhm.
and then shortly after that, I'm trying to remember if it was after he hid or not, but we hear. Uh, Actually, I wasn't sure. Is it Ethan or is it? Or I'm sorry, or whatever his name is, or is it his alter ego at that point? That's over the PA.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it was still Ethan Hawke talking
Mm-hmm.
in the back,
Yeah, that's what it
and then he
sounded
was
like.
yeah, it was Ethan Hawke because his that dog thing was running around. I wonder because that one looked pretty big. I was like, is that like maybe Ethan Hawke turns into something else?
Oh, yeah,
Like
could be.
maybe he's maybe maybe he's actually Ahmet or Met or whatever it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that's the part I didn't mention was at one point when Ethan Hawke is talking to Oscar Isaac, which I'm always terrible with character names, but um he points to Amit on the uh one of the pillars, I think, in the museum, and makes
Yep,
some comment about how the scarab is the scarab actually Amit, or no, belongs to Amit.
belongs
So
to Ahmet.
right.
Hmm. Yep.
So then there's this dog, quote unquote, that is going after him because we.
Was it dog or dogs? I thought there was
Was
two.
there more than one? Okay,
I feel like there's two, but I could be wrong. But I
could be.
mean, there was a lot happening at that point.
Yeah, yeah, and then you start catching glimpses of it. You see shadows of it. You never get like a real great. You get a lot of like motion blur sort of effects, and it looks like at first. I'll admit it. At first, I'm expecting something bigger, kind of. It wasn't that big. It was just very like gangly and fast and terrifying looking. Whatever it may have been, maybe it's Ethan Hawke's character. I'm not sure, but
Could
uh,
be.
yeah. So at one point he's hiding behind this pillar. He's nearly knocks over a vase at some. I'm surprised he didn't break something at some point. Things chasing after him,
No,
and
I was really hoping for that vase to just oops.
right. So then he's running away, and he finally makes his way to the restroom and locks himself in there. But very quickly, you're starting to see the imprints of this dog creature. Um,
Oh, breaking through the door,
mm-hmm.
wasn't it? And yeah, then he starts talking to his alter ego, Mark.
Oh,
Right?
hi,
Was that Mark?
Mark.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know if he actually says it there, but yeah, that's presumably the case,
It
unless
is.
he's.
It's got to be Mark. Because there's only.
Yeah, well, definitely. I don't know if that particular character gave Layla the right name or not. I don't remember if he introduces himself through the mirror, but we see it's of course it's a mirrors on both sides, so you're seeing like the infinite reflection sort of thing. The Plague Doctor bird skull monster thing is Khonshu, the Egyptian moon god. Okay, thank you.
Oh, there you go. See?
Nice.
Ah, that makes sense. Moon Knight, Moon God.
Mm-hmm.
See?
It's all come together. He's got it all figured
So,
out.
so Khonshu is. Why is Khonshu chasing him if he's already basically possessing him?
That's a good question. Um,
Hmm.
but I
Interesting.
guess we'll find out. But so yeah, so the
Same time. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know what I just said there. I just had to blurt something out apparently.
so yeah, he does talk to the English version of Oscar Isaac of or Stephen. He talks to Stephen, and he's asking him, I need to take over, right? And we're seeing because like otherwise you're gonna die. We keep seeing the imprints coming through the bathroom door, like it's gonna break through at any moment. And then he basically like nods at one point. That's his signal to say that yeah,
Yeah, that's his
okay,
thing. Yeah,
okay,
okay.
go ahead. And then so he agrees to transform, and then we see the dog break through. We see it jump directly on top of him, and then the very next scene, I don't remember if it jumps right to it, but oh yeah, we're hearing a bunch of stuff. We're seeing the outside. We're hearing like we see a kitchen sink fly out of kitchen sink, a bathroom sink fly out, and
Yep.
then and then we're hearing the dog, uh,
Getting yelping
getting
almost.
yeah walloped,
And we just
and
see the big guy.
zoomed in. We see yeah, I think we see the from behind initially, and then with the white cape and the hood and everything,
And his eyes lit.
and then turns around and I think probably starts walking toward the camera, and
And that
presumably
was
the
it.
dog is didn't make it. I'm not sure, but
I mean, he took a few blows to the face, it looked like, so.
yeah, yeah,
Can't
probably
wait for
didn't.
next week.
Yeah, it was a lot, but I think we got it all.
It felt like it was a good opening episode, but I want more.
Yeah, exactly.
5 more
Yeah,
episodes. That's it.
exactly.
I
Well,
like these. I like these series how they're short like this, but sweet.
yes. Hey, if you want to write in though for our next episode or any episodes to follow, feel free to do so. We're trying to do these Wednesdays. We might miss some here or there. I just only need to talk to you about the end of April, but our email is disnerdsplus, that's Plus spelled out at gmail.com. We got a website that's very basic so far, but disnerdsplus.com, also spelled out. You can find me. I'm sorry, I'm going to start with Mike. You can find Mike at, how do you want to pronounce that?
Cool as a cucumber.
Cool as a cucumber, and that's KUL. And it's cucumber is actually spelled with 2 Ks also. So, but
Mm-hmm.
and you can find me at Shave Mad Ox. Thank you all for listening. Thank you everybody in the chat, Herschel and Why Not and AP Dubs. You guys are great. Thanks for the
Yeah. Thanks,
participation.
guys.
And until next time. What do we say here? Moon on.
Moon Knight. Yeah.
Moon Knight. Bye.
Later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still live on Twitch, but we can talk a little bit longer if you want. The actual audio part though, the actual recorded audio.
You did? Please.
Yeah, that part's done, which was it was good timing. It was basically like an episode length.
There you go. You did
Yeah.
it. How long? Wait, how long was it? 40 minutes?
It was it was at least 50, I think.
Ooh, nice.
Um, yeah, so that worked out. Herschel says, so Halo? Herschel doesn't even like Halo anymore.
Eh,
You can watch that, but don't have Disney Plus. Oh, well, shucks.
Halo.
He really doesn't have a problem with spoilers, it turns out. Wait, what the heck was this game that AP Dub suggested? Seven in Heaven? I don't know what that is.
7 in Heaven. What's that?
No clue. That was
I
fun,
am
though.
looking. I'm looking at apartments right now.
Oh, gotcha. Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I had fun. I had fun.
Yeah, I
That
don't
was
know. Is
one
it
done. One done.
one and
Ooh,
done? All
fun
right.
There's apartments right by Stevie's place.
Nice. Well, I suppose I don't know if I'll be playing after this, but
No, I'm not gonna play it tonight. I don't really
yeah,
feel like playing anything right now. I'm kind of gamed out right now. I don't know why.
yeah, fair enough.
Taking a little break or something. I think I'm just gonna do some apartment hunting or look for some stuff and maybe make some inquiries.
I'm not already opening Elden Ring, Herschel. I feel like I need to. Yeah, I don't know. I need to space that out a little more too.
What? Elden Ring?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
anywho,
All
we'll
right.
see. I
Well,
don't. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks. It was fun.
yeah. That was good. That was a good time.
It was
Well, we
good.
got
Good stuff.
now
I'll
we got
post the
now we
episode
got
right away.
next week.
Yeah.
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 Cool,
All
man. Well
right.
then, I will talk to you later.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody. See
Bye,
ya.
guys.
Bye. Oh, that was a mirror image there. I know. I need like more music options here or something.